Hey everyone, I hope you're taking it easy and your day has been great thus far. For this video we'll be continuing on with this retrospective unbagging and review of the weekly parts-based magazine of Imperium Issue number 7 for Warhammer 40,000. It's hard to imagine that I'm about 3 issues away from actually hitting a double digit. I'm still ages away before the end of the magazine series, but it is what it is. Anyway, front of Imperium issue number 7. Oddly enough, we have a nice shot of Retributor Guilliman. Although I'm not expecting him to be overly prominent within this particular issue. I do know he becomes prominent later down the track. But in terms of this particular issue, so we'll actually get 3 paints, and that's pretty much it, which is fair enough. Some of these magazines did only come with things like the paints, tools, gaming accessories, materials, etc. They didn't always give actual minis. Anyway, in terms of the content, what was in issue 7? So there's some information about the era Indomitus. Just randomly throw in some letters that don't exist. There is a detailed painting guide, which I suspect is for both the Necrons and the Marines based on the new 3 paints. And a bit more of a battle playthrough with painted models. So, quick look at the contents. So there is some background information, the lore for era Indomitus, and then from the paint side of things and the hobby side, Space Marine details, followed by a playthrough. Ultramarines, names and titles. So pretty much roll a D66, which I assume is just 2 D6s, to pretty much generate a name. Very cool. Then you've got some more stuff here on the back. Roll a D33, a hero title, and then some honor titles. Necrons also have a similar thing, where you can generate a name, which actually isn't too bad. Comes in handy. Followed by, what do we have here? So we have dynastic epithets generator and some unit generators. Very nice. As for the lore, so pretty much going into that era Indomitus, the Imperium Resurgent. So I suspect it's got something to do with Retributor coming back, possibly. As I've mentioned in a few of these little retrospectives, I'm only getting back into 40k. There's been a few editions worth of things that I missed, including obviously when Retributor came back, because last time I remembered him, he was sitting in stasis because Fulgrim basically got him good and proper. Anyway, how to paint. Space Marine details. So going through some techniques. Obviously going through some of the paints that were included with this particular issue, so we will be introduced to Corax White later on. So going back to some of the Assault Intercessors, the Primaris Aggressors, the Primaris Captain, and I'm sure the Lieutenant will come back into play. So here we go, the Primaris Lieutenants, the Assault Intercessors with the Retributor armor, so pretty much your gold color. Going through obviously each of those Marines once again. I could have sworn back in the day Ultramarines are blue and yellow, but things could have changed. So that's very cool. So it's just using 2 of those 3 paints that were included. Very nice. It's unfortunate it's Ultramarines, but it is to, give you that kickstart to how to paint. As for the playthrough, so Necron Resurgence. So what's happening here? So mission briefing. The Nobility Awaken versus Hunters in the Darkness. Obviously going through the playmat setup. Pretty sure that's the playmat that came in the previous issue that was very, very large. That I could not fully do on the video because it would have taken up a lot of space. Going through the rules, so who do we have here? The Assault Intercessors and the Necron Warrior. Well, take that back, it's a so it is a Necron Warrior and an Assault Intercessor. Not intercessors, intercessor. Not that would have made any actual difference with that S missing. Anyway, the data sheets and some of the attributes that will be involved with this particular playthrough. So, Space Marines start the turn. Going to the Necrons. In fact, it looks like there's actually multiple units, so it's actually warriors and intercessors. Why would you lie? Okay, maybe it didn't lie, but obviously I hadn't read that far through. So there's a bit of a shooting phase here. Going back to Space Marines for turn 2. Looks like there's at least 2 alive. Ending on Space Marines turn 2, there does appear to have been some charge and close combat. And then obviously just continue the playthrough. And then the very end, just once again highlighting the subscription for Imperium. Obviously going through the collection, reading, building, painting, and play. As for the back, pretty much a preview for the upcoming issues. So issue number 8, we will go back to having a included mini. It will be a Necron Overlord. And then issues 9 and 10, between the two of them, will give you a full squad of Necron Warriors and Scarabs. And I suspect this is in addition to the 3 Warriors previously. I suspect. Time will tell. And you can even see the small print. Can't even really see the small print. Because based on this, there's what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, so 10 Warriors and 3 Scarabs. So technically that would be 5 and 5. And however you divide 3, 1 and 2, I guess. So maybe it doesn't include the 3 Warriors from... which issue was it? 3 maybe? Anyway, time will tell when we get there. When we go through issue 11, I'll start doing a bit of a breakdown in some of the general costings because of how my subscription was being paid, and then obviously looking at some of the more tangible things like all the hobby materials, the paints, the brushes if I can, and stuff like that, just to really illustrate some of the difference at the Australian dollar anyway of some of the value you get from this magazine. And that's not even including some of the extra stuff I got from like discount bins, such as the 2 extra Royal Wardens and Primaris Lieutenants. Like I literally got those at like $3 a piece. I've had a look at the actual pricing for both. It's like a 95% savings. I can see why scalpers would have wanted to get some of those and sell them for ridiculous prices. But anyway. So that was issue 7. As for the paints, so we did get 3. So paint number 1, so we have a base of Retributor Armour, and surprisingly enough, it does still make noise. Now I'm probably going to need to put these through a decent vortex mixer because whilst the liquid is still liquidy, I suspect the pigment's going to really need a decent shake up. What do we have here? So we have Mechanicus Standard Grey, I believe. Once again, can still hear that. And then lastly, the Corax White. Not as noisy as the other 2, but there is a bit of noise. So definitely not too bad. So 3 paint pots, which I think at the Australian pricing would have been, what, about $6 a pot, give or take. So that's, what, $18? So for $18, you could go out to a store and buy 3 paints. I'm pretty sure $18, in fact $20 was probably the costing for the particular issue. So it's not too bad. So those are the 3 paints. Okay, so that pretty much brings us to the end of the retrospective page through of Imperium. Issue 7. Definitely chugging along. I'm definitely starting to catch up with cutting off obviously the various models of the sprues, and from a Space Marine perspective, definitely looking up some of the ways that are used to paint Blood Ravens. Obviously I've got to bolster up my paint collection at some point in time, but I do need to figure out how to paint them. The Necrons I'm not too worried about at this point in time, but I'll definitely need to figure out how to paint them. I haven't figured out what. Trying to avoid like the standard look, but there might have been one scheme in the Codex showcase that was interesting. I'll have to page through it again. But at the same time, the Necrons are not my immediate concern. I'll probably be trying to get the Blood Ravens up and running. And I still need to go through the unboxings and snip out of some of the EC sets I got for the Emperor's Children. Anyway, time to wrap it up there. Waffled on enough for this particular video. Obviously, issue 8 will come out the week after this is published to continue the page through. Thank you very much for watching this video for Imperium Issue 7. Feel free to leave a like, comment, subscribe if you enjoy the content. All of this does help support the channel. I do appreciate it. Extra content is also my Instagram. Link in the description. Otherwise, same handle as the channel. I know I keep saying it. The 40k stuff is still slowly coming along. I'm still pretty much based on some of my other plastic-based hobbies with Playmo, Gunpla and stuff like that. But we'll get there at some point. Just need to establish a rhythm. With that being said, stay safe and take care, and I will catch you all in a future video. See ya.